Previously on the Seventh Valkyrie, BC nearly loses control in her showdown with Drakhe, one of the head enforcers for the Three Flames. With the city now buzzing and her power flickering, things are quickly unraveling for BC, but as she returns, there's an unexpected gift waiting for her. What's inside? Find out next on the Seventh Valkyrie. Chapter 16. Love Letters. BC, the 10th day of winter, just after nightfall. The rest of BC's journey, guiding Peona and Sylphie up through the city to the pit, passed in a daze, one that was only enhanced by the way that sounds and lights seemingly flickered in and out of existence without warning. She was losing control. Fuck, she was losing control. Not good. Not good. If it hadn't been for Sylphie and Peona next to her, BC likely would have broken into the same insane sprint that had gripped her when she'd lost control and kicked the cave punching bag straight off the rig after hearing about the Machine King. But this time she had people to care for, and Peona's exhausted repetition of some Icelander mantra, combined with Sylphie's comforting words, helped BC slow herself to a brisk walk. She could finish her job and focus on her people. That much she could do after they were in the pit, though. BC passed off the two girls at the front of Velvet, explaining to the doorman that Peona needed some serious attention from anyone with the breath of the wild. There were already questions whizzing around the pit about the confrontation at the edge of the docks, but BC brushed off the clash with the Three Flames as a little misunderstanding during a skirmish with some dagger-mad junkies. And that was all true-ish, but so much of the conversation flickered in and out due to BC's malfunctioning power that she was more concerned with getting away from everyone and getting self-medicated in her room than she really was with checking on the girls or making sure her story was straight. After all, Peona would be fine now that she was here and being taken care of. Peona would not be fine if she, Sylphie, and tonight's doorman all suddenly blinked out of existence due to BC's power. BC was a quarter of the way through a bottle of whiskey when the flickering began to slow down, which she tracked with a single burning candle. Even so, BC was almost halfway through the bottle before she was confident enough to return to the bar, bringing her candle with her to keep monitoring the flickering and re-upping on supplies. It was there that Waver found her, sitting down at the bar while BC dug in the cabinet for another bottle, making sure she had 3 just to be sure. Hearing him arrive, BC slammed her head into the underside of the cabinet in surprise, but with a curse, a rollback, and a smooth pop-up to the bar, she almost recovered. Fuck, that hurt. Also, top of the evening to you, big sexy, she said, trying to fall back into their comfortable rhythm of banter. And where are you coming from so late at night? Why didn't you invite me to watch? Waver sighed, giving her a chuckle a half-second too late, and BC struggled to keep herself from starting to flicker again. She could tell something was wrong, and it wasn't just inside her. There was some expression on Waver's face, and it really unsettled BC. But she had bigger problems to deal with. Stress, fear, hate, shame. When they were spinning around so violently in her head, they could surge into existence, take over in an instant. Wrenching the uncertainty back down into her stomach, she forged on, pushing through to get back to being everyone's favorite BC. Oh, did she turn you down, Wave? BC asked, reaching over and slapping him on the shoulder. Come on, man, we both know she must have been insane if she did. This time he rolled his eyes. I wasn't with a girl, BC, he said. Well, unless you count checking in on Peona and Sylphie. P is in a rough spot, BC said. We really gotta get her some help. Waver nodded, then scooted over to sit next to BC, offering a seat and lowering his voice.
Are you alright, B? He said. I heard you got attacked out there. Things went a little sideways with the flames.
BC made a shooing motion. Getting attacked was the least of her worries right now. Come on, Wave. I run security in the seat of 4 family power. Getting attacked is a Tuesday.
That doesn't mean it can't unsettle you. Or unsettle the people who care about you.
BC reached out and touched him on the shoulder again.
I'm fine, Wave, she said. You know me.
He gave her a half-hearted smile that immediately said he wasn't sure, but before she could call him on it, he'd turned.
You got something today, he said,
reaching down to where a canvas carrying case laid on the floor next to him.
Some package for you. It's been through all the checks, I can promise you that, and everything came out clean, so I think it might just be a package.
He held it out for BC to take, which she did, hefting it up onto the bar and spreading the contents out. A bottle of wine, a wrapped packet, and a letter.
Fuck me, BC said. What?
Nothing, BC said, quickly opening the letter and scanning its contents. Waver looked away for her privacy as she scanned it.
Dearest Blair, we grow ever nearer to your looming decision, and while I do not envy your struggle, I do believe in you. And I spoke the truth when I said I'd never lie to you. Perhaps this old dog's manipulative ways have tainted my words, but I'll accept those consequences gladly. When it comes down to it, I could do this without you. I stand firm on my quest to break down this world, bring its gods to their knees, and bring back the light that I lost sight of so long ago. And I will let nothing stand in my way, not even your absence, but I would very much enjoy it if you were by my side. I cannot promise that what comes for Reen and for Edra as a whole will be peaceful. In fact, it will not be. And I cannot promise that you will be entirely thrilled with the steps that I must take. But I can promise that if you come to me, I will give you the full picture of what is to come. I hope that you will not be my enemy. K.K. Can I look back yet? Waver asked. I know how you feel about your privacy.
The sound of tearing paper was his answer. Waver whipped around to see BC busily tearing the parchment into smaller and smaller pieces, until she finally scooped them all and dumped them wholesale into the basin of the candle, where they ignited.
You all right?
He asked, as BC looked with intense focus at the pieces of the letter until they had all disappeared. Only then did she turn, roll her eyes, and punch Waver in the shoulder playfully. Yeah, I'm fine. And according to that letter, there are about 65 different ways to describe how fine I am.
What, a love letter? Waver asked.
Yep, BC said, putting her forehead on the table. Some fucking prick, I don't even know, decided I was his forbidden fruit and has been trying to fuck me on and off for about a year. This is just the latest little gift. She reached out and grabbed the bottle of wine, unwrapping it before letting out an involuntary gasp. It was a Bratza Gold. There were people that BC knew who would commit murder for a wine of that quality. Realization dawned on Waver's face not long afterward.
Are you sure this guy's just some random prick?
BC sighed. No. He's one of the family's Mandarian contacts, BC said. That may actually have been true. You would not believe how much he has offered me to go down to Bone Town.
More or less than a bottle of a Bratza Gold? He asked. I don't even know how to pay for this. You can't even... They don't even sell it.
BC rolled her eyes and leaned over the bar, pulling out a bottle opener and 2 glasses and starting to wrestle the bottle open. Waver gasped and reached out, snatching the bottle away.
Be careful, girl. We don't want to cork this, Waver said. Bitch, I'm not even sure you want to drink this. It might ruin every glass of wine, morsel of food, and drink you'd have for the rest of your life. I've thought of trying to find gold before, but I figured it was better to leave it an untasted dream.
Nah, sorry, fuck that and fuck this guy for trying to buy my pussy when it wasn't for sale, she said, snatching it back despite a whimper from Waver. We are drinking this right now after I'm already sloshed and without a cheese plate or any charcuterie. Pointing out that simple fact also seemed to physically wound Waver. To any well-regarded bartender and sommelier like himself, this would be like pouring paradise down the drain and then setting the drain on fire. Once the glasses had been poured, BC's glance made its way to the second wrapped package, which was, of course, a thinly wound bundle of braised vicarigs, pickled sky shoots, and some smoky spider apple Gruchere cheese, the perfect trio of pairings for anything, and, of course, for a Bratza Gold. It felt disgusting to try to eat them, but it was more than BC's heart could take to deny them to Waver, so she opened up the package and started passing it all out. For a few precious minutes, they sat in peaceful, nearly orgasmic bliss as Waver reveled in the delight of a Bratza Gold. Meanwhile, BC tried to believe the lies she had told him and just enjoy the wine. Lies or not, it wasn't hard to get swept away in the delicate golden notes of a Bratza. The very finest of their vintages were cultivated at highly secretive locations around the world, places that were said to be ideal convergence points of the world's energy, and the results were objectively spectacular. The layers and layers of flavor in any of the Abruzzo gemstone vintages changed and shifted, resonating with scent and flavor memories long held or deeply forgotten. Most people wept when enjoying those mythic wines for the first time, and Waver was no different. To BC, though, half a bottle of whiskey into the night and fighting with all she could not to feel anything, the flashing memories conjured up by the wine were just another piece of mental noise she had to tune out. Want to know what happens next? Join us on Patreon to become a hero of Edera and get early access to episodes along with bonus features, director's commentary, and the full Tabta archive. You can also find other ways to support us at the links in the description, and we will see you next week.